We be live. Shalom, shalom, everyone. How's my audio? Also, have you liked the stream? I'm looking at you specifically. Yes, you. Have you liked the stream? If not, do it now. Hold on. Oh. Anyways, guys, make sure you like the stream. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification. How's the quality of my audio? Is it good? Today, we are going to be destroying some Andrew Tate arguments, some embarrassing Andrew Tate arguments. He just came on Valuetainment show and he was not challenged. Like, people there were constantly just agreeing with his anti-Israeli bullshit. Can I say bullshit right now? Has it already been 30 seconds? I'm not supposed to swear within, I don't know, the first 30 seconds or the first, I don't know how long of the show. But it was like, I don't know, it's too late now. I said bullshit. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. This fucking, like, I don't understand how people come and go on the largest platform and they spread such obvious fucking bullshit that is so easily the information to show that it's absolutely wrong is like right in front of you. Guys, there's this thing called the internet. I don't know if you've heard about it. You press some buttons, you ask some questions, and now more than ever you can fact check things. Like, you don't even need to be research experts. Guys, we now have Grok and ChatGPT, and I don't know, like, we have Google Gemini. We have all of these things. It's so easy. How the fuck are these people so famous with such level of not bullshit? It's so easily debunkable. You don't need me to show you this. What the fuck? The people there are sitting there. What is that guy's name? That Iranian guy that sits there. I always forgot. Patrick something David. I don't know. Fuck. Just sits there, not like, oh my god, you're so rational. That's so wise. It was fucking bullshit. Let me just play. So, guys, did you confirm that the quality of my audio is good? Is my audio okay? I will just play this for you. I watched this. And you know what? I'm glad I have this job. I'm glad that I have to come here and tell you these things, because if I didn't, I would just have to sit down and listen to these people and just pull my hair out. I was like, what the fuck? But now I have you guys. I just come and share with you guys, and I share my frustration here with you. And you guys are my therapists, right? I know you guys buy super chats and stuff like that, but I have to be paying you because you guys basically are my therapists. Oh, perfect idea then. Fantastic. Like, yeah, this is great. I like doing this job because I just come here and I just rant about this fucking bullshit that is spreading everywhere. Fucking everywhere. Oh, by the way, Gene, thank you for highlighting people's comments. Anyway, let's just get into it, huh? What about that? Let's just get into. Let me just play this. Why is it so easy to be so anti? Oh, how's the audio? How's the audio for? Oh yeah, so guys, the problem. Why is this buzzing? The problem with a lot of these fucking anti-Israeli, anti-Semites is on the right, is that their guy is now in office and their guy is pro-Israel. So they don't know how to
So Trump has been
deal with this contradiction. So they're trying to walk back a little bit of their anti-Israeli. So you know what? They were all over social media spreading the most disgusting anti-Semitic nonsense. But now that everybody on their side is celebrating Trump being in an office, they're like, okay, how do we now explain all these pro-Israeli positions and our anti-Semitic, anti-Israeli positions before? So they're like, you know what? Like, we're not like, we were just asking questions. Guys, like, there's some legitimate criticisms here, okay? So we're not like anti-Israeli like those other like people, right? I mean, they were doing the most bizarre, weird anti-Semitic tropes out there that were spreading it online. But they're like, now, you know, guys, like, please don't remember the things I said. This, like, I was just, you know, the people who are very anti-Semitic, they were wrong. They're wrong. Of course, they're crazies. Okay, I just had some legitimate criticisms, and then he introduces what his criticism is. Even now, and it's an anti-Semitic trope. It's an anti-Semitic trope. So let's watch this. Let's watch this.
Been very pro-Israel, and so Trump has been very pro-Israel, and so he's been.
Yeah, what do we do with that? What do we do with that? Trump is very pro-Israel. Like, but we were this show specifically, the PBD podcast show, has been a main platform for spreading anti-Semitic nonsense. How do we deal with this contradiction now? Fucking bullshit.
So Trump has been very pro-Israel, and so he's been very pro-Bibi.
Correct.
And matter of factly, Tate. So do you think he's wrong on that?
Oh yeah, the guy that we accuse of genocide constantly. Oh, this is definitely genocide. Genocide. But Trump loves him, so what do we do?
So supportive of Israel?
You know, this whole Jewish question thing is actually an interesting one. I'm going to talk about this.
Oh, the Jewish question thing. The Jewish question. This whole Jewish question thing. He just says it so casually. I don't think he knows.
Wrong on that, being so supportive of Israel?
You know, this whole Jewish question thing is actually an interesting one. I'm going to talk about this. This is going to get me in more trouble. How much trouble am I in? Let me count it.
80%.
Oh, how much trouble I am in. Fucking guys, these people blame the left. I mean, we do too, a lot of the times, right? For having a victimhood, complex and whatever. Like, they always try to portray themselves as the victim. But motherfucker, you have become famous for trying to say controversial stuff. You've never gotten in trouble for saying shit. You've only gotten in trouble for sexually exploiting women and human trafficking. That's what you got in trouble for. When it comes to saying shit, saying controversial stuff, everything you have is because of saying controversial stuff. Not only did that not get you in trouble, it brought you a lot of fucking wealth. How are you pretending that you're the victim of saying controversial stuff? Is this not like acting like, oh, poor me, I'm gonna get in trouble, but I'm so brave for saying controversial stuff? When did this man got in trouble for saying controversial stuff? Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble. When did he get, like, am I gonna get in trouble? Like, is this not acting like you're the victim, like they accuse the left of? Look at this.
It's actually an interesting one. I'm going to talk about this. This is going to get me in more trouble. How much trouble am I in? Let me count it.
80%.
How much trouble am I in? Like, when have you been in trouble for the shit you said?
The Oregons are coming for you, Tate.
Yeah, exactly. The candidate saying they canceled me. The man who has his voice is larger than most people in the world because he says controversial stuff. He says controversial stuff by design to amplify what he's saying, and he get more people to hear him. Canceled.
Right. T, we're going to jail. Pack up.
Oh, yeah. That's why you were in jail. Okay, you were in jail because of saying anti-Jewish stuff. Is like, guys, we're not even 20 seconds in. You weren't in jail for standing up against Israel, motherfucker. You were in jail for sexually exploiting women and human trafficking. The things that you admitted yourself. You and your brother admitted yourselves on camera. You conned people and bragged about it. That's what you were in jail for.
They're coming for you, Tate.
Fucked. Right. T, we're going to jail. Pack a bag.
Just did.
Pack a bag. Right. So this, it's actually kind of frustrating for me because when I came out of jail, I did Piers Morgan, and I told Piers that what was happening in Gaza was a massacre. And this was on like October 9th. Like 2 days after.
You said genocide.
Genocide.
Oh. Thank you, whoever that other guy was. He didn't say massacre. He said genocide. You said genocide, motherfucker. You described Israel's defending itself against genocide. Okay? And what happened? Were you canceled? Or are you getting invited on the most viewed podcasts and shows on the fucking planet because of your controversial takes? Who the fuck canceled you?
It was a massacre, Oregon. And I told Piers that what was happening in Gaza was.
When was this? This was on October 9th, he said?
So it's actually kind of frustrating for me because when I came out of jail, I did Piers Morgan, and I told Piers that what was happening in Gaza was a massacre. And this was on like October 9th, like 2 days after.
Genocide.
I said it was unfair what was happening.
Wait, hold on.
Well, it's actually kind of frustrating for me because when I came out of jail, I did Piers Morgan, and I told Piers that what was happening in Gaza was a massacre, and this was on like October 9th. Like,
what's happening in Gaza is a genocide. Guys, I don't know if he mentioned this or not. Did he also describe what happened in Israel as a genocide?
You said genocide.
Genocide.
Wait, 2 days after October 7th? He came out and said that. He said October 9th. Wait, guys, correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't actually pay attention to this part. Now I'm like listening to it. October 9th, what year? Is he suggesting that 2 days after October 7th, he went on Piers Morgan and said that what's happening in Gaza is a genocide? Like, am I misunderstanding? Yeah, because he said 2 days after. So 2 days after October 7th? How is that possible? Even the attack that happened, Israel's response wasn't like 2 days after October 7th. It took a couple of weeks for Israel to respond. Am I missing something here? Because this is a level of idiocy that I wasn't even prepared for. Yeah, Boris is saying October 9th, Israel was still clearing Hamas inside Israel. How are you saying this that what's happening in Gaza is an act of genocide when Israel didn't even begin to defend itself? I don't like this is like I actually don't have any. This is too stupid for me to respond to. This is too fucked up, too stupid for me to respond to. This is so stupid that I was for a couple of seconds here convinced that I'm misunderstanding him here right now, because this is like too much. Like, guys, this must be I must be mishearing here.
Jail, I did Piers Morgan, and I told
pack
pack a bag,
Tristan.
Right. Pack a bag. Right. So this, it's actually kind of frustrating for me because
so people are saying he was suggesting that what happened in Gaza throughout the years, like even before Israel actually started attacking Gaza for the October 7th, he described the whole thing as genocide. So he's more loony than a lot of even some of these leftists.
When I came out of jail, I did Piers Morgan, and I told Piers that what was happening in Gaza was a massacre, and this was on like October 9th, like 2 days after.
You said genocide.
Genocide. I said it was unfair what was happening. This was before it became like widespread. This was only a couple days after, and
so he's bragging before other people saw what's happening in Gaza and wrongfully described it as genocide. He's saying before other people, before the bombardment in Gaza, I was ahead of all these leftist loonies. I was calling it genocide before it was cool.
I was told not to say that. That's going to get you in a lot of trouble, but that's what I believed, so I said it.
Look, is this not like, it's going to get you in trouble? Who the fuck, like, who is he not trying to pretend like he's a victim and he's so brave? Like, people told me not to come say it and I'm going to get in trouble. Who the fuck told you you're going to get in trouble, Tate? You look at where you are. Not only did you not get in trouble, you're out of jail, and you are being invited left and right into the largest platforms on earth. What trouble did you get into? What did you think is going to happen? Did you think like some Mossad is going to come assassinate you? Who the fuck told you that? That only increases your profile. That increases your profile. That makes you louder. That gets you more exposure. What are the consequences of you saying such nonsense?
At the time.
Why do these people think that? What these people piss in their mouth next time they come and say that, the left loves to be the victim. Okay? Because I mean, a lot of people on the left actually, the woke crowd does love to be the victim, but so do these motherfuckers.
And there's a lot of people online who are fervently anti-Jew and are very anti-Semitic. And I know.
Oh, okay. So now now that the mood has changed, okay, guys. I told you that this whole the pro-Palestinian people were like, you know what? I know we are being defeated in battle. I mean, some of them don't even admit that. But at least the world now hates Israel. I'm like, give it some time. right? And now that things are moving back into the pro-Israeli side with Trump in power and everything in the United States, now they're trying to separate themselves from the actual the so-called anti-Semites. Like, we're not like those crazy people. Like, so listen.
There's a lot of people online who are fervently anti-Jew and are very anti-Semitic, and I know who these people are, and you know these people are, a lot of them. Sometimes,
Kanye West.
yeah, well,
he's trying to differentiate himself from them.
Sometimes they have a point of view, and sometimes they just go way too far with it.
Sometimes anti-Semitic views are correct, but sometimes some of them are kind of like messed up too much. Okay, let's see what those other people say that is too messed up, and then his anti-Jewish conspiracy theory that is not as messed up as the other people. Okay, so let's listen to it.
So I think this whole argument is kind of two-pronged. The first prong is that there are people in the world who blame the Jews for absolutely everything, and that is pathetic. And these people think that they worked out the secret of the world, and they're based, and they blame Jewish people for everything. They're like, oh, but that's the Jews. What is? Race mixing is the Jews. Maybe.
Maybe. Okay, so like he gives the most ridiculous examples to try to justify his example is justified. Okay,
like, oh, but that's the Jews. What is? Race mixing is the Jews. Maybe they're attacking me for supporting race mixing.
Wait, even I didn't actually pay attention to this part because sometimes I listen to these in triple speed. But he said maybe. Did he just says maybe? Did he just say maybe? So even when he's maybe I misheard them. Oh, there's a. Oh, thank you. I will listen to. I will look at that. Oh, thank you, Gene. So guys, look at the attempt here. He's trying to say like, look, there's some really, really crazy anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, but we're gonna push those aside. But listen to mine. Mine is correct. But even when he wants to give you examples of the crazy category, he's so deep into this whole red pill fucking far right lunatics that are anti-Semitic. Again, guys, here on this channel, when we say far right, we don't mean people who are anti-Islam. That is a correct position to have, or people who are anti-mass migration. That is also the correct position to have. We're talking about people who are anti-Semitic, right? Like, listen, on the right. Okay, so watch this.
My dad is black. My mother, maybe they're attacking me for supporting race mixing. My dad is black. My mother is white.
All right. So he said maybe. So maybe Jews are responsible for race mixing. Okay, but not but not me. My parents just met each other. It wasn't any Jews. No Jews was responsible for this race mixing. So maybe some other race mixings. Because he said maybe. He said maybe. Okay, so he can't even completely dismiss, as in an attempt to show that he's not as crazy as other conspiracy theorists, he cannot completely dismiss even this one. So let's continue. Let's see the rational anti-Israeli positions.
Why do you think the Israelis called me and told me to say this? It's my upbringing. Or they'll say, oh, but you can't get a girlfriend because the girls have all been subverted by the media. That's the Jews. How did the Jews keep you out the gym? Because your arms are skinny, bro. Like, how did the Jews stop you from being a man they want to fuck? Explain that to me. They go.
Okay. I mean, I haven't heard that conspiracy. Like I haven't even heard that conspiracy theory. I've heard conspiracy theories where Jews are spreading feminism to bring down empires, to bring down powerful countries. That's what I've heard. This idea, but he gives you a conspiracy theory that even anti-Semitic conspiracy theorists will say, like, yeah, well, that's ridiculous. Yeah. So for him to show legitimate forms of anti-Semitism, he has to create some really, really crazy conspiracy theory that I haven't even heard of, like at least this version of it, so that everybody could argue, like, well, obviously that is stupid. So in comparison, what he's going to suggest as his own conspiracy theory, it looks more rational compared to these made up ones. So let's watch this.
How did the Jews stop you from being a man they want to fuck? Explain that to me. Like, they go so
Like, look how these idiots not understanding what's happening here. Like, oh my God, like Andrew Tate is being so rational. Obviously, he's calling out the irrational forms of anti-Semitism. Okay.
far with it. They go so far with it. And if you try and point this out, you're instantly a Mossad agent. Even I get this. After defending Palestine and risking my life, because they could have locked.
You did not defend Palestine, motherfucker. You actually you're spreading a death cult, and you're bringing hope to the so-called Palestinian cause, which is responsible for Palestinians dying. You fucking idiot. I mean, you're a coward. You would never come. Guys, did you know this motherfucker actually blocked me on Twitter when I was calling out his bullshit? Like, think about this. Think about my audience relative to him. I didn't even think he would notice me. Like, his audience and his reach is so huge that when he was posting things on Twitter and I was replying to it and correcting him, I didn't even think that somebody like this big would even notice somebody like me. But even I was blocked. Andrew Tate has blocked me on Twitter. Like, this little, like, how pathetically weak do you have to be? Like, oh, did I hurt your feelings, Andrew? Did I hurt your feelings? But anyways, like, if I would invite him to come to, talk to me, and I would tell him, like, listen.
They go so far with it. And if you try and point this out, you're instantly a Mossad agent. Even I get this. After defending Palestine and risking my life, because they could have.
Risking your life? How are you risking your life?
Even I get this. After defending Palestine and risking my life, because they could have locked me back up and I was told not to.
Lock you back up? Guys, here, that's it. This is an anti-Jewish conspiracy theory right here. This is like, lock you back up. Who the fuck is getting locked up anywhere for saying defending Palestine? Are you fucking insane? Is this not an anti-Semitic trope to suggest that, oh, Jews have so much influence over the justice system of every fucking country on the fucking planet, like that in wherever in Romania, that you will go get locked back up because of defending Palestine? You're in fucking La La Land. And nobody asks him this on this podcast, on this PBD podcast, and the Valuetainment or whatever the fuck is that they are. Like, how is this a serious show? How is this have so many fucking views? Let me see how many views it got. This is only like an 8-minute section of the discussion that they have, and it was posted a day ago, and it has 300,000 views already. These are some of the most famous people on the planet. He's like, oh my God, I said it anyways, even though they could put me in jail for defending Palestine. I mean, guys, this is more insane than some of the crazy leftists we know. Like, for example, Jink from the Young Turks. He doesn't think like, oh my God, when he comes and defends the Palestinian cause. I mean, he's a far leftist lunatic, but he doesn't come and say like, oh, I'm defending Palestine and I might go to fucking jail. So the far right lunacy is sometimes more idiotic than the far left lunacy. Like, I don't see them claim that, oh my God, I'm gonna go to jail because I'm defending Palestine. What the fuck? Like, man, you go to jail because of your fucking crimes that you admitted to on camera, and you're even free right now. You're free. Like, how the fuck are you free? You told people that I'm conning them. You told people that you're conning women. You said that on camera. And you're free right now. If anything, the system seems to be in favor of rich people like you. It seems like you have some. The system is biased in favor of you, not against you. I mean, I don't think I would be able to be out of jail right now if I did the things that Andrew Tate has done. I don't know how he's out of jail. He's in the US now, free. Like, you stand up, like, the Jews are controlling the world and the media and the justice system, and I stood up to them. And then you're walking around, and even though I did human trafficking and I conned people out of their money and I admitted to it, and I'm now walking free, but the world is controlled by Jews. Like, how is this? Watch if any, like, he's not even talking to just one person. There are 3 people in that room. All of there are 3 hosts. Not a single one of them thinks like, hey, wait a minute, is Andrew actually suggesting that the Jews control the justice system and he could go to jail for defending Palestine? Like, does anyone there think like, maybe I should be like, wait a minute, how do you, like, they all agree with this? Watch this.
They're still not happy with me because I don't go far enough with blame.
And like, look, even though I've been spreading anti-Semitic propaganda everywhere, but I don't go far enough. Do you know why he doesn't go far enough? Because he's mixed race. Okay, so because of these far right fucking lunatics are anti-mixed race, he would go all the way, even with the mixed racing thing, if it benefited him. But he can't because he's mixed race himself. And now he wants to dial it back a little bit because Trump is so pro-Israel. So
even I get this. After defending Palestine and risking my life because they could have locked me back up and I was told not to, they're still not happy with me because I don't go far enough with blaming the rain on the Jews. It rained outside. You didn't have an umbrella. The Jews did it. So
I don't blame the rain on who the fuck. I mean, guys, I follow a lot of people who are anti-Semitic and they have the craziest anti-Semitic theories, right? He doesn't give those examples, the ones that actually exist. You know why? Because he would lose his fans, because his fans actually believe in them. He comes up, like, he can't even come up with insane conspiracy theories that are actually prevalent. He has to make up conspiracy theories to make fun of, so that he doesn't lose his fan base. I mean, where do anti-Semitic conspiracy is blaming the Jews on the rain? I mean, the rain is seen as a good thing. The rain is seen as a good thing. Like, who blames the Jews for rain? People, if people should be thanking Jews for rain if they were controlling the rain.
Locked me back up and I was told not to. They're still not happy with me because I don't go far enough with blaming the rain on the Jews. It rained outside. You didn't have an umbrella. The Jews did it. So there's the psycho.
Yeah, those are the common conspiracy theories about Jews that we all are aware of. I just made that up because I don't want to actually tackle the real ones.
Fucking side of it. But as a rational person who likes to see both sides of the argument, I would also argue.
Oh, both sides of the, like, look how he both sides it here. Okay, look how he both sides. Like, this is the rest of the hosts are now going to come. He's going to act like he's the rational. Guys, be careful of this trap. Okay, people who act like they are more rational because they stay in the middle. Sometimes the middle position is the correct position, but sometimes it's not. If one side says the earth is flat and the other side it says no, it's not flat, the middle position is not the correct position. If one side evolution is false and the other one says no, that it's actually one of the most testable theories there, and like it's basically as close to a fact as you could possibly get, the middle ground is not the correct position. If somebody says, like, if you see somebody in the street raping a woman and the woman says, help me, I'm being attacked, I'm being raped, please help me, and you say, oh, well, let me actually hear the rapist side as well. I would like to take the middle position here. I don't want to be one-sided. Let me see, maybe he's also the victim in this situation. The middle position is not the correct position. You're not more rational for taking the middle position. Okay? Sometimes many things in life is not black and white, but there are certain things that are close to it. Right? So some people want to bring up the fallacy of being black and white. Yeah, sure, that's a fallacy, but not always. If you think that's always a fallacy, that's called the fallacy, right? And it's also a generalization because sometimes certain things are actually very close to black and white. Right? So let's watch this.
There's the psycho side of it.
Wait, let me actually read the super chats. I got 2 super chats. Darko is saying tickle tickle, referring to our previous stream that the people who are there know what he's referring to. Thank you, Darko, for your super chat. That's very nice. I love this username. Gorgot Defense System saying top G, the G stands for grifter. That's a great super chat. Thank you, Gorgot. That loved it. All right, let's watch this.
But as a rational person who likes to see both sides of the argument, I would also argue it is interesting that it seems the only influence over the American government that we're not scared about or we don't measure is the Israeli influence of the American government. This
one of the most measured and studied things in the in the history of lobbying is this thing that he's saying that we don't measure. You fucking moron. Listen to this, okay? So he basically came up with some conspiracy theories that are saying, well, those are false about the Jews or Israelis, okay? If you blame the Jews on raining, that is bullshit. That's bullshit. However, the influence of Jews or Israelis on U.S. politics, let me go spread my own anti-Semitic tropes here. Like they're scheming, they're tentacles, they're behind the curtains, pooling of levers and controlling the government and media. Those. Why is nobody talking about that? Meanwhile, everyone is talking about that. Why is nobody measuring that? Meanwhile, there's a lot of studies measuring that. So let's listen to this.
Scared about or we don't measure is
we're scared about, we don't measure. So actually, I come with data. I come with data today. Okay, so watch this.
The Israeli influence of the American government. It seems
the Israeli influence of American government. Nobody measures that. Nobody measures that. Why is nobody? I am me, Andrew Tate, the brave Andrew Tate, dares go where nobody else dares venture. Nobody else comes here and asks these questions. I am accepting this risk. Motherfucker, we have academic studies on this. Okay, let's continue.
They do have some control over the American government. They do lobby heavily, and nobody talks about it in a negative way.
Nobody talks about it in a negative way. Nobody. Guys, we have been flooded with people who talk about Israel's influence over American politics in the negative way on social media, on YouTube. Are you fucking kidding me? Nobody talks about it in a negative way. Do you live in a cave, Andrew Tate? Have you not been on social media? It's one of the most common anti-Israeli attacks. I think it's the most common today. Are you fucking kidding me? Nobody talks about it. How is it? Somebody, one of the hosts there, like, open your fucking mouth. How are you a host? How are you a fuck? Is this a joke? How are these people taken seriously? How is this a serious podcast?
Whereas if the Chinese do it or the Russian do it, there seems to be a big problem. It doesn't seem to be measured when Israel does it, and nobody seems to be concerned by it. Now, whether that's a good or bad,
nobody knows. Oh my God, nobody seems to be concerned about it. Is this man like? Are the audience of this channel who are celebrating these points? Are they fucking like? Do they have like negative IQ, or have they been in a coma since? I mean, since birth, honestly, because this is like forever. This has been going on forever. What?
Bad thing. You can get someone on more qualified than me to discuss. There's people more qualified than me. I would argue, as a rational, intelligent individual, that
so rational, motherfucker, you're the dumbest famous person I know.
The American government should be pertinently aware of all influences that are put on it. Shouldn't you measure them?
The American government should be aware of all the influence. You have no idea the details in which this is studied. Remember his point, like, American government should be aware of all the influence. Well, thank you, Andrew Tate. Thank you Like, I'm sure there's not studies on this. I'm sure there are not political analysts that are actually following these connections in ways that you cannot even comprehend. There are entire institutions and companies designed to follow these influences on an hourly fucking basis, you idiot.
Pertinently aware of all influences that are put on it. Shouldn't you measure them? I'm not saying even stop them, but shouldn't you know? Because let me ask another question. This is a thought experiment. If you allow a nation to influence your nation and you allow it to happen unchecked, who's influencing the influencer? I don't know this at all. This is off the top.
Yeah, you don't know my like first thing you said that was you have no clue.
If you allow a nation to influence your nation and you allow it to happen unchecked.
If you allow a nation to influence a nation, Andrew Tate, every nation influences every other fucking nation. Do you know that? Do you know that, Andrew Tate? Every and none of it goes unchecked. So,
who's influencing the influencer? I don't know this at all.
Maybe you should look into it before you open your mouth and embarrass yourself in front of all these people. I mean, I don't know if you're embarrassing yourself. You have a cult following that doesn't really check these things.
Off the top of my head. Who says Israel's not being influenced by China, Russia, whoever? What?
Who says Israel is not being influenced by China and Russia? Okay. Oh my God. He thinks that China and Russia will influence Israel to influence America because Israel is influencing America. You fucking moron. Russia and China are influencing United States directly. They have direct lobby groups in United States, and everyone is aware of them. And everybody who's studying these things is completely aware of the influence Russia has over Israel, Israel has over Russia, China has over Israel, Israel has over China. Does this motherfucker know that Russia arms the Islamic Republic to defend itself against Israel? Does he know about that? Does he know that Israel bombed the S-300s in the last time they went and did the aerial bombardments in Iran? It was it's the Islamic Republic has a closer relationship with Russia, and actually closer relationship as more of a proxy more than a relationship. Does he know that? Does he know that it's the Islamic Republic that sells drones to Russia, and therefore Russia is funding a lot of the activities that the Islamic Republic is doing against Israel? Does he know that with all of that being said, within Syria, Russia had to communicate with Israel? So wait a minute, how does this work? Yes, had to make sure they avoid a larger conflict because Russia and the Islamic Republic were on one side and Israel was on the other, but they didn't want to be directly confronting each other. They had to make sure that they communicate in a way where that when Israel is bombarding the IRGC targets in Syria, to make it so that the Russian interests were not being directly attacked by Israel. Does he know when it comes to China and Israel, China is the main country that buys Iranian oil, even though there are sanctions, and China is not supposed to do that, and China is doing it through Malaysian shell companies at a cheaper price, and therefore China buying Iranian oil has been responsible for funding October 7th. Does he know about any of these things? Does he know about any of these things? Basically, China and Russia are funding and arming the main enemy of Israel. Does he know about these little details? And if anything, Israel's relationship with Russia is more influenced by what America wants than what Israel wants. So Israel has to basically maintain a very detailed balance, because Israel has to be on the right side of the US, because United States influence on Israeli politics is more than the other way around. So if Israel takes any position that is pro-Russia, it's because right now Trump is pro-Russia and Israel needs to be maintaining a good relationship with Trump, not because of any direct influence of Russia over Israel. In fact, the fact that Israel is now taking a more of a pro-Russian side when it comes to the UN voting that they did shows how much more influential United States is on Israeli politics than the other way around. Do you guys understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Do you guys understand these things? Do you think that Andrew Tate understands the nuance, these nuances, these little details? He just he has a mind of a child. He's like, oh, let me give you like a mind-blowing. This is his understanding of politics. Israel is influencing America. We don't like China and Russia. But what if Russia and China are influencing Israel? Huh? Did you think about that? Who's the big brain boy here now? Did anybody tell you that? Oh my God, nobody thought about that. Huh? I'm so original here. Look at the big brain Brian. This is, he makes it so sour. Oh my God, I think like he's like a child. He's a baby. Man, this is not your fucking area. You have no fucking idea what you're talking about. Oh God, listen.
What I'm saying is they can be a conduit if you allow it to be unchecked. So I understand.
Wow, guys, big brain Tate. This is like, I'm so glad that he entered the realm of geopolitics instead of just talking about how to, I don't know, trick women into sleeping with you, okay? And how to con people out of their money. Like, we needed this. This is some deep level analysis that we did not have. I mean, thank the heavens that Andrew Tate entered this area. These are some 40 chess, points of view that nobody ever considered until this man entered the scene. Fantastic. This. Oh my God. Thank you, Tate. Thank you so much for this analysis.
Understand that Israel seems to be the only country that can influence American politics without being checked. I understand that. I understand.
Without being checked? Guys, wait on before he moves on. Just be patient because I'm going to fucking destroy these points, okay? I will show you. I will give you some facts, and I will show you if anything, it's the other way around. Other countries' influence over the United States is more biased and unfair and sometimes hidden than the transparency of AIPAC. And AIPAC is not even funded by Israel. It's actually American citizens. I will show you all of that.
Israel seems to be the only country that can influence American politics without being checked. I understand that. I understand that's strange. I agree that should be measured. That's true. However, to argue that how is this not anti-Semitic? How is this not anti-Semitic? Every fucking country tries to influence the government of the United States. Every fucking country. And the government of the United States tries to influence the government of every other country. And other countries try to influence each other's governments at the same time. But it's only the Israeli one that people want to point on, the focus on. And in fact, it's the Russian influence on US politics that goes unchecked. It's the Islamic Republic of Iran's influence on United States government that goes unchecked. The Israeli influence on US government does not go unchecked. Why is it that this is being singled out? Why is this one, the Jewish one, is being singled out? How is this not? Tell me. If it's not the Jew factor, what is it? Is this not anti-Semitism? Guys, am I exaggerating? Tell me if I am, because I want to know. Maybe I am. Because I have exhausted every other factor other than the Jew factor. This is anti-Semitism. And I will show you that. that the Jews are the only reason why you're a little bitch hiding in your house at home. That's also bullshit. There's definitely a lot of irrationality on both sides. That's what I would say about
Both
that whole
sides.
subject.
Oh yeah, both sides. Okay, this woman is asking for help because she's being raped, and this rapist man is saying, actually, I am the victim. Okay, why is she resisting me? Why is she resisting me? Like, I'm just trying to have a good time and she's resisting. Like, and some people are saying like this lady is a victim. Okay, and some people are saying I'm not as crazy. Andrew Tate is saying, I'm not as crazy as those people who are saying this lady is not a victim and she has some good points that we should listen to. Okay, I'm not as crazy as those people who are completely dismissing the woman. I'm just a rational middle guy who's saying like, okay, this woman has some good points, but we should also hear the rapist. He's also in some sense the victim here. I mean, she is resisting. She is making the job of the man a little bit difficult. Okay, it does cause some inconveniences for the man. I'm the middle guy here. Okay, I don't go as crazy to one side, but I also want to hear that man out. That's what basically, yeah, the middle position being the correct position.
And I think that people should be more rational and approach it rationally. But that subject seems
yeah, you're the rational guy. Fucking insane.
about that whole
the person who said that we're having a genocide in Gaza 2 days after October 7th says like, I'm the rational guy here. Okay.
subject. And I think that people should be more rational and approach it rationally. But that subject seems to get people into
The guy who doesn't understand anything about the nuances of geopolitics in the Middle East comes with his big brain analysis that what if somebody is influencing the influencer? I'm so smart. Look at me.
instantly into black and white camps. And those are the subjects that are hardest to discuss.
I love the breakdown.
Where there's no
Oh my God, look at this, man. Look at how he's jizzing. He thinks look how much he's loving. Not only did they not calling out this fucking bullshit, look how much they loving it because they're like, oh, guys, this is what it takes for people to think that you're the rational one. By just saying like, I'm not as crazy as those people, but I'm also not going on that side. I am just taking, oh my God, I love this breakdown. Ooh, oh, I hit the spot. Oh my God, I jizzed over your rationality, Andrew Tate. This was so good. Fucking idiots. Look what they're being impressed by.
Those are the subjects that are hardest to discuss.
I love the breakdown.
Where there's no
My God, look how he's talking. He's jizzing.
subjectivity.
That's the part of the breakdown. See, this is because in this breakdown, the way you just eloquently put together, guess who can be right? Both sides.
Yeah.
Both sides. Oh my God, guys, this is what it takes to impress people. Just both sides it. Oh my fucking God. What? Look how impressed he is. He thinks this was so mind-blowing to him. He's in love. Fucking idiots. You're all idiots. Fucking morons. It's just a bunch of morons circle jerking over each other in front of each other, thinking that they're making incredible points. Holy shit. This is where we're at. This is how these are the popular takes online.
Because it's like, no, Trump did this and that's he's owned. He's this. Maybe he's just being strategic.
Yeah.
No. But that side, they have control of everybody. Maybe they do have a little bit. No, they don't. Maybe they do.
Maybe they have a little bit. You fucking moron. Of course, everybody has somewhat of an influence over everyone. But look, they are focusing on the Jewish control over U.S. politics, which is an anti-Semitic trope because this is something everybody does. And actually, Israel doesn't. And I will show you that. This is when it comes to governments influencing with lobbying other governments, this is actually something that Israel is behind on. And you're focusing on that as if like, oh yeah, they have their tentacles in our government. Maybe that's true a little bit. No, you motherfuckers. This is an anti-Semitic trope. Listen.
That's the subjectivity. The keyword you're using here is that we have to be able to do that more often. It was broken down so well.
Who stopped you? We have to be able to do that. Who the fuck stopped you? You have been spreading so much anti-Israeli bullshit on your channel, and you just got more popular because of it. We have to be able to do that. Who the fuck stopped you? You were crybabies. How the fuck are these people with this much money and this much of an audience acting like they're the fucking victims? Oh, guys, please let us do that. Who the fuck stopped you?
The way you just did it right now. I don't mean to interrupt you. I just was really.
Thank you. But this is.
I was just like, oh, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was I just came a little bit over your big brain analysis.
Well, the way you just did it right now. I don't mean to interrupt you. I just was really.
Thank you. But this is the interesting part, because there are certain subjects where it is instantly snapping to black and white camps.
Right.
And those are the problems.
Wait, let me actually, we got a super chat. Let me read the super chat. Our League, thank you so much for the super chat saying Tate isn't right wing and has no connection to the US Republicans. He talked about forming a new party in the UK. There are no conservative pimps. Okay, right wing doesn't just mean Republican, and it doesn't also just mean conservative. Okay. Yeah, right wing, he is right wing leaning. Okay. Just because I'm not anti right leaning because the right leaning has some fucking loons. Okay. The right has a lot of loons, the left has a lot of loons. Not having connection to Republicans doesn't mean that you are not right-leaning. Okay, so I don't care about right-leaning and left-leaning. There are many good people on the right. There are many good people on the left. There are liberal people on the left. There are liberal people on the right as well. Liberal right-leaning people try to call themselves classical liberals. I don't care. I call them liberals, right? I don't care about right and left. I care about liberal and illiberal. And of course, the right has its fair share of lunatics. Okay. When I point out to right-leaning loons, I'm not attacking the right. I'm not attacking the entirety of the right. But if you're right-leaning, you care about the right-leaning politics, you have to admit your own side of having lunatics on your side to make it better. If you deny the problems that are coming from inside the house, then they're gonna take over. Okay, so don't get offended every time points out to right-leaning lunatics. Just because you're right-leaning, acknowledge that they exist. Of course, Andrew Tate's positions are right-leaning. They're not left-leaning positions; they're right-leaning positions. That's not an attack on the entirety of right-leaning positions. I have right-leaning positions, especially on the economy. I say that as somebody who has many right-leaning positions. Let's continue.
That never get fixed. Those are the problems that never get fixed. There has to be subjectivity and discussion in all things. And both sides can have a point. And it has to be discussed at large. Yeah. Problems that never get fixed. Those are the problems that never get fixed. There has to be subjectivity and discussion in all things. And both sides can have a point. And it has to be discussed at large. So it's actually, I would make this point, actually, for the people who are truly fearful of Israel and truly fearful of Jewish influence, you hinder yourselves by not being open to rational conversations, by not being invited on speaking podcasts, by not being open to ideas, because you don't accept that not every single thing on the planet is the Jews. If you want to be reasonable and responsible.
So it's like, guys, if you want to deal with the Jewish threat, don't blame the rain on the Jews. That's what he's saying. So he's acknowledging that there is a Jewish threat that we have to fight back against, but don't go overboard by blaming. I mean, I don't know who's blaming the rain on the Jews, but he's like, oh, look, guys, this is the proper way of being anti-Jewish. Okay, just dial down the crazy. Meanwhile, he gives us the most craziest analysis.
Every single thing on the planet is the Jews. If you want to be reasonable.
Right. Yeah, guys, the Jews are controlling the media and the politics, and I could go to jail by defending Palestine. But let's be honest. When I have an itch on my asshole, that's probably, I mean, I cannot be sure, but maybe that's not Mossad. Okay? Maybe. We can never be sure. But maybe that one is not Mossad. Okay? And if we say that that's Mossad, then we're going to be weaker in our anti-Jewish narratives.
Reasonable and responsible and have interesting and open conversations, you'll get a lot further. But when you put up this wall of every single thing is Jews, every single thing they've ever done, every single thing, you're just going to destroy.
Look at, like, is that what is his name? Patrick, the Patrick guy, Patrick B. David or something else. Look at is he masturbating? Is he like? He sounds like he's coming behind the cat. Like, listen.
And responsible and have interesting and open conversations, you'll get a lot further. But when you put up this wall of every single thing is Jews, every single thing they've ever done, every single thing.
Look, you hear them? You hear that? He's fucking coming. Like,
you're just going to destroy you're going to destroy your own movement.
He's loving this. He thinks this is so big brain.
Because when a half black Muslim,
look what they're fucking impressed by. Look what the motherfucker is impressed by the most bullshit takes ever.
Who defended Palestine is being accused of being a Mossad agent. You may have gone too far. Perhaps.
Yeah, you know how the left eats its own? Okay, it's not the left that eats its own. It's the fucking loons, the woke, and the Marxists that eat their own. And this is something that fucking crazies on both sides do, right? Because when people go full on crazy and they go too radical with their fucking takes, then they have to keep outdoing each other, and nothing would ever be enough. And they start eating their own. And Andrew Tate is recognizing that with the anti-Semitism. Because, like, oh, you're with Mossad. No, you're with Mossad. No, you're with Mossad. And it's the same. He's also realizing the same thing with Islam. Once you're a famous person that wants to goes in the direction of Islam, oh, it's only going to be a honeymoon period, only at the beginning. Then you're going to be, every fucking thing you're going to do is going to be scrutinized, and you're never going to be Muslim enough. Okay, and he's also he's realizing that as well.
And he's being accused of being a Mossad agent. You may have gone too far.
This is the main reason why liberalism eventually succeeds. It's not just because of the strength of liberalism. It's because crazy people just eat each other up. Like, they destroy each other eventually. They turn on each other. Their positions are so unrealistic that they're not going to be able to maintain it. You know, fascists basically take themselves out. Communists eventually take themselves out. The Islamic societies eventually turn on each other, and they turn into different sects and turn against each other. For you to be able to have a consistent, stable position, you actually have to make sense. This is why liberalism eventually succeeds, because the enemies of liberalism eventually turn on each other. The left turns on Islam, Islam turns on the left. You know, some conservatives who like Islamic conservatism, eventually they turn on each other. This is why we eventually will come on top.
Defended Palestine is being accused of being a Mossad agent. You may have gone too far. Perhaps. Guys, maybe you've gone a bit far. But, I mean, I guess it doesn't cross their minds. Because I promote race mixing, because my mother's white and my father's black, it looks like I work for the Jews. So
yeah, so this is the thing. By the way, is this not woke? Is this not woke? I'm the victim because of my ethnicity. Is this not woke? Did Andrew Tate just go woke? Guys, I'm being attacked because of my ethnicity. That's like, yeah, okay.
What can you do?
Well, Tate, you're hired.
Yeah, maybe he's not that right leaning after all. I don't know what the fuck. Oh, thank you, Semper, for the super chat. Thank you. Super sticker, I mean. Oh, no, it's a super chat. Saying, Armin Habibi, being angry makes you more handsome. Oh, well, thank you. Okay, thank you. That's very sweet. All right, let's continue.
Don't worry, I'll get you.
I was about to
get you a discount. I'm going to get you a 10% discount.
What happened? What's the joke?
It's black. It looks like I work.
Yeah, identity politics on the right. This is what people call woke right? Identity politics on the right. Guys, identity politics was not invented by woke people. It was invented by these motherfuckers.
The Jews. So
I mean, not that the woke didn't fucking take over that whole shit for a long time.
What can you do?
Well, Tate, you're hired. Don't worry, I'll get you.
I was about to
get you a discount.
Wait, what was the question?
Well, Tate, you're hired. Don't worry, I'll get you.
I was about to
get you a discount. I'm going to get you a 10% discount.
Get the yarmulke.
I got you.
Get the yarmulke.
I don't get the joke. They're making fun of people who are basically blaming Andrew Tate for being Mossad. They're gonna, I get to Yamakan.
Right now. I wouldn't get one. We'll bring Tristan in.
I was about to say if I was hot.
Oh, okay. So there were 3 hosts. None of them once asked them, like, seriously, Andrew Tate, you think you're gonna go to jail for defending Palestine? Not a single one. Not a single one. None of them brought up the idea that, you know what, Andrew Tate, other governments lobby the US government as well, and they're actually funded by their governments, unlike AIPAC. Not a single one of them. In fact, one of them was jizzed all under his desk.
Hired, where's my fucking money?
Save that money. Save that money.
Because they ain't paid them yet. But
we're gonna get you another Protect Philippe.
But
with the diamonds.
It truly is interesting how many people cannot have a rational conversation ever. Because I am perfectly capable of arguing against.
So Sketch is saying right equals monogamy and family versus Tate is harems and pornography. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the positions that Andrew Tate has goes against mainstream conservative positions, right? But that's not when it comes to right-leaning positions, the things that gets under the right-leaning positions, it's not just monogamy and family, right? There are many things. And if you combine all the things Andrew Tate says, I mean, there's a reason why right-leaning people are more interested in him than left-leaning people. Again, I'm not saying that his positions all reflect right-leaning positions, or else I have right-leaning positions. Again, this is not an anti-right thing that I'm saying. He is, if you have to decide if he's more left-leaning or right-leaning, obviously you're going to say he's more right-leaning based on all the positions that he has, not just a few of them, right? Nobody would say Andrew Tate is left-leaning. But again, this is not an attack on right. This is given that I myself have many right-leaning positions, especially when it comes to the economy. Yeah, guys, please like please like the stream. I need more people to see this. Liking the stream helps us get more people seeing this shit, because this nonsense needs to be responded to.
Every point I argue for, I'm perfectly capable of it.
So what you're supposed to do. That's
It's
the
like playing
reason
chess
a
against
man who
yourself.
can reason should do that.
Absolutely. But these people are
Oh yeah, and also I know there are some, because a lot of people on the right make sense. Okay, so Sketch is saying stop the right doesn't support the 5 influence. Wait, I don't know what this means. Stop the right doesn't support Tate. 5 influencers do. Wait, no, there are many people on the right do. Many of the people on the right are against them. Guys, there is no they're right. There is no they're right. The right-leaning people are a very diverse group of people. Some people on the right support him. Some people on the right are against him. And the sane ones are against him.
Against every point I argue for. I'm perfectly capable of it.
So what you're supposed to do. That's
It's
the
like playing
reason
chess
a man
against
who
yourself.
can reason should do that.
Absolutely. But these people are incapable of having rational, subjective conversations ever. And that is why we end up in the positions we end up in.
Nowadays, more than
Okay, so now it goes to his sales pitch. But let me actually show you guys how fucking wrong about this man is regarding all the AIPAC stuff that people talk about, okay? And then I will get to the points that Gene has starred in the question. I will answer some of your questions and comments. But let me actually, because I need everybody to, on this channel, I need you guys to have the points to bring up when people are talking about Jewish money influencing American politics, okay? And AIPAC, because AIPAC is the number, like when people want to sound less crazy while being anti-Jewish and anti-Israel, they bring up AIPAC. And because many people have not looked up the details of AIPAC, and it's very, very common, unlike what Andrew Tate says, that, oh, nobody asked these things. It's so common, this understanding of AIPAC being Jewish money that influences American politics against American interests, is so common online that many people who are even pro-Israeli sometimes think, well, some of that is true. And that's why I need you guys on this channel to be completely armed with the facts to respond to people when they bring up this fucking nonsense. Okay? this is, I mean, we're not as influential as many of these other people, but at least I want us here on this channel to have a better understanding of what the fuck is going on. Okay, so let me read you some facts. Okay, AIPAC, which is American Israel Public Affairs Committee, is one of the most, this part is true, the most influential lobby groups in the US. But it operates within a system where multiple lobbies, think tanks, and government institutions shape foreign policy. Studies such as those by political scientists John Mearsheimer and Stephen Walt acknowledge AIPAC's influence, but also highlight that US policy is ultimately driven by broader geopolitical and economic considerations. Okay, so when he says why nobody asks and measure this is one of the many studies that actually has, you could go look this up, that has studied this in great fucking detail. So let me continue. 2. U.S. interests drive policy decisions. The U.S. provides military aid to Israel because Israel is a strategic partner in a region where U.S. interests like counterterrorism, energy security, and countering Iran are paramount. These are the 3 things that a lot of people don't understand. Counterterrorism, United States would have never been able to be this effective when it comes to counterterrorism, energy security, and countering the Islamic Republic if it didn't have Israel in the Middle East. The US has, and I'm going to give you a rant about that pretty soon, so bear with me. The US has also provided aid and support to Arab countries like Egypt, Jordan, showing that its Middle East policy isn't dedicated solely by Israeli needs. Yeah, and also Pakistan. A lot for Pakistan outside of the Middle East. Let me give you some important examples here, okay? Examples of U.S. actions contrary to Israeli preferences for people who think that U.S. decisions is completely controlled by Israel. The Iran nuclear deal, the JCPOA in 2015. The Obama administration negotiated the Iran nuclear deal despite Iran's strong opposition. Arms sales to Gulf states. The U.S. sells advanced weapons to Saudi Arabia and the UAE, sometimes over Israeli objections. Palestinian aid. The Biden administration restored some aid to the Palestinians despite Israeli concerns. And some examples that is not here is that the Biden administration criticized many times Netanyahu and went as far as stopping some very important weapon sales to Israel over human rights concerns. And also the United States under the Biden administration sanctioned Jewish settlements in the West Bank. How do you understand that if Israel controlled United States politics, that would never even been considered? Congressional and presidential decision-making. U.S. Middle East policy is shaped by multiple agencies, including the State Department, Pentagon, and National Security Council, rather than just lobbyists. Presidents such as George W. Bush in 1991, I don't know why I said the W as Bush, have pushed back on Israeli policies. Even conservative, even George Bush, Republicans pushed back many times on Israeli policies, like settlement expansions when they conflicted with broader U.S. interests. In fact, every fucking president, except I think Trump. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Trump also in the first term. I'm not sure. But other than Trump, every fucking president condemned, Republicans and Democrats alike condemned West Bank settlements. Tell me how U.S. politics is controlled by Israel. So now let me talk to you about AIPAC and how it's formed and how it's structured. Because AIPAC is not an Israeli lobby group. unlike what people tell you. AIPAC is an American lobby group by American citizens, unlike the other lobby groups. Unlike other lobby groups by other countries, it's not actually funded by Israeli government. These are American interests. These are American, Jewish Americans, which in the United States, asking their government to be reflective of what they want. These are American citizens, and they have every fucking right to. They're Americans. So let me read this. AIPAC is primarily supported by American Jews who are U.S. citizens. The organization is a domestic lobbying group that focuses on strengthening the U.S.-Israeli relationship. And its membership, donors, and activists are overwhelmingly American. While AIPAC has support from non-Jewish Americans, its core base consists of American Jews who advocate for strong U.S. Political and financial backing up for Israel. Do you understand that the United States government should be representing the wants of its citizens? That's what a government is supposed to do. So AIPAC is funded by American citizens, not by the Israeli government. It operates as a US-based lobbying organization, and it receives financial support primarily from individual donations from American Jews and pro-Israel supporters in the US. It does not take money from foreign governments, including Israel. AIPAC funding comes from membership fees, fundraising events and conferences, political contributions. Okay. Let me see. However, while AIPAC itself does not donate to political campaigns, it encourages its members to contribute to pro-Israeli candidates through PACs and individual donations. So it does encourage them, but it doesn't have any direct link to that. So AIPAC is not funded by the Israeli government, nor are they okay. So here's actually somebody said, like, okay, what about, are there any other lobbying group that are funded in the United States that are funded by Israel? So, nor are there any major U.S. lobbying groups that are directly funded by the Israeli government. Under U.S. law, foreign governments that want to influence policy must register their lobbying efforts under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, which is FARA. You can look that up. While AIPAC's influence in shaping U.S. policy toward Israel, while AIPAC is influential in shaping U.S. policy towards Israel, it operates as a domestic lobbying. I already mentioned those things to you, so no need to. Now compare this with other lobbying groups, okay? Unlike AIPAC, so imagine how fucking unfair this is. Israel's influence over the United States. Israel's influence over the United States. Now that AIPAC, Israel's influence over the United States. Now you see these are American citizens, okay? But what about other lobbying groups, other countries that these anti-Semitic motherfuckers do not mention? Unlike AIPAC, many other foreign lobbying efforts in the US are directly funded by foreign governments. You hear that? These efforts typically operate through registered foreign agents under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, which is what we mentioned, FARA, which requires transparency about their funding and activities. Here's how transparency, same thing that Andrew Tate was fucking unaware of. Here's how some major countries conduct lobbying in the US. Saudi Arabia and Qatar. And the list actually is very longer, but let me give you some examples. Okay. Direct government funding. Both Saudi Arabia and Qatar pay lobbying firms in the US to advocate for their interests. And it goes over the name of these lobbying groups, but I don't want to bore you. China. So, Andrew Tate was like, guys, if Israel is influencing us, what if China is influencing Israel? Okay, Andrew Tate, what about this? The Chinese government, through its embassies and proxies, funds lobbying firms and think tanks in the United States, hiring American PR and legal firms. and media apparently. Yeah, I didn't know that. China Daily has paid U.S. newspapers for sponsored content, using groups like China United States Exchange Foundation, CUSEF, to push Beijing's narratives. Germany and Canada, it's not just, it's allies as well. Germany uses groups like Konrad, I don't know how to pronounce this, Adenauer Foundation, which is linked to the government, to promote its policies. Canada lobbies for trade and environmental policies, often through government-funded agencies, but with less direct political influence than Middle Eastern or Chinese lobbying. Guys, these are directly government fucking funded, unlike the Israeli one. Key differences from AIPAC. AIPAC is a domestic lobby funded by American citizens, whereas Saudi, Qatari, and Chinese lobbying efforts are funded directly by their governments. AIPAC does not need to register under FARA, but most foreign-funded lobbying efforts must register because they're not foreign-funded. And Russia, I mean, I could go through the Russian. The Russian one is fucking insane. Do you guys want me to read the Russian one? Russian lobbying efforts in the US are largely government-funded and often operate through covert and indirect means. This is what you should be afraid of, Andrew Tate, because you want a transparency. The Jewish one is actually quite transparent. This is the one that is covert and indirect. Also, the Chinese one is also covert, a lot of it. Unlike AIPAC, which is funded by American citizens, Russia's lobbying strategy includes a mix of legal lobbying, influence operations, and propaganda efforts. Some of it is legal, some of it isn't. Here's how Russia conducts lobbying in the US. I mean, I have a list of, I don't want to bore you guys, but it's fucking insane if I go through the details with you guys. Now let make you another point. The part that I wanted to leave for last before I read your questions, because this fucking annoys the shit out of me. Guys, is it true? Is it true that Israel has benefited a lot from US support? Of course it has. Of course it has. Okay? Many Israelis owe their security and safety to US support. In fact, all of them in Israel do. Okay? And that should never be belittled or unappreciated. I think Israelis should be grateful to America for everything America does for Israel. However, so should Americans to Israelis, because the benefit went both ways. It was win-win. United States supported Israel with financial support and military support and intelligence support, and also trade. The Israelis support United States with their fucking lives, with their blood. I want Americans here to understand that when Israeli soldiers are dying in battle, killing America's enemies, these are American soldiers who are not dying in their stead. You understand what I'm saying? These were supposed, if Israel was not there in their fucking way, these Israeli soldiers who are dying would be American soldiers who would be dying. The Israeli citizens who are dying, these would be American citizens who would be dying in their place. Do you fucking understand that? Not only that, Israel, especially quite recently, but throughout its history, has killed, has neutralized, has eliminated the murderers of many Americans in situations where America failed to go and neutralize them itself. Let me just give you two examples, two quite recent examples. Ibrahim Aghil. People who follow this channel know this guy. I mean, we heard of him, even if you don't know him. On September 20th, 2024, Israel executed an airstrike in Beirut, targeting and killing Ibrahim Aghil, a senior Hezbollah commander. Aghil was a principal figure in the 1983 bombing of the U.S. Embassy and the Marine base in Beirut, which collectively resulted in the death of over 300 people, including 241 U.S. military personnel. The U.S. had previously designated Aghil as a terrorist and offered $7 million reward for information leading to his capture. So for more than 40 years, this murderer of more than 200 Americans was not neutralized until Israel came and took the revenge for the American deaths for the United States. American, say thank you if you're American. This is what Israel does for you. And then we also had this Ali Musa Dagdouk, who was on November 10th, 2024, Israel conducted an airstrike in Syria that killed Dagdouk, another senior Hezbollah operative who was responsible for orchestrating a 2007 attack in Karbala, Iraq, which resulted in the deaths of 5 U.S. soldiers. I mean, I could go over it through big list. And even if you're an American who says, like, well, you know what? I'm not an American soldier. This would not be me. Do you guys, I want you to understand that everything that made United States a superpower, a huge part of it, not just America, the whole fucking planet's access to energy. The whole fucking planet's access to energy is because of United States presence and stability in the Middle East. Because without the United States in the Middle East, you think like stability in the Middle East, Armin, the whole place is a fucking mess. You have no fucking idea the mess the place would have been if it wasn't because for United States military presence and its allies. The fact that the entire fucking planet, do you guys understand that industrial revolutions either happen because of easier access to information or easiest access to energy? It's one of these two. The global progress, not just US progress, the fucking global progress that we have seen since World War II is because of the security of the access to the energy the United States has made possible by maintaining its presence in the Middle East, which would have not been possible without Israel. It was a major destabilizing effect when we lost Iran, but it would have been even more destabilizing if we did not have Israel in the Middle East as a U.S. ally. The whole world, when you go, like, you know how people are in the U.S. are complaining about the price of eggs? Motherfuckers, those things would have been 10 times, everything would have been 10 times more expensive. Nothing that you see around you, we would have been decades behind technologically when it comes to prosperity, when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to technology, when it comes to everything, if we didn't have this much access to energy, which was only possible because of United States and its strategic alliances in the fucking Middle East. The whole world owes Israel's security guarantees in the Middle East. These are the fucking nuances that these fucking morons don't understand. Yeah, I know, like the details are a lot more than that, but come on, let's not kid ourselves. Israel, when it comes to access to weaponry, needs the United States. Like I could obviously show you. I mean, the United States is also, thankfully, tries to make it so that when it comes to the United States supporting Israel, unlike it allows Israel to spend that money on its own weapons manufacturing as well. So when the United States donates to other countries so that they could build their military, it comes with a condition. They have to use that money to buy from the US so that it creates jobs in the US. And it also advances United States military industry. But that condition is not there for Israel. So Israel could become more independent. Israel, when Israel gets money from the United States, it could use that money in developing its own military infrastructure and its own weapons manufacturing base as well. So it becomes less reliant over long term, and that's a really great that's an advantage Israel has over other countries that receive aid. And this makes that completely, guys. Israel becoming more powerful in the Middle East is best for is good for everyone. It's not just good for Israelis; it's good for everyone in the planet. Israel is a state in the middle of it's a small shining light in the middle of darkness, in a place that others don't want to go. And Israel is there doing our jobs, the jobs of other countries for them. We need to keep that light shining. Anyways, let me go to your comments. Oh, thank you guys for the super stickers. Give me a second because I had a cold. Before I go to your comments, let me mute my. Okay, I think I fixed that. A little bit of a cold here, but thank you, FLP. Thank you so much for your memberships, guys. Our memberships are growing. Let me actually see how much members do we have. If we get to 1,000 members, this channel would be financially completely stable forever. Okay, and we don't have to worry about the ups and downs on YouTube anymore. If we have, because guys, like the ad money and the super chats, they go up, they go down, and you cannot plan accordingly, right? The membership support is like makes it stable. So thank you for being a member, and thank you for buying memberships. And we have 237 members right now. We're trying to get it to 1,000. If we get to 1,000, then we're going to be completely financially secure. And EF, also thank you for getting 10 memberships for people in the live chat. I appreciate that. Okay, so let me answer your question. And again, Gene, thank you so much for highlighting people's comments and also starting people's comments for me to respond to. Nike is saying, can we be liberals without being left or right? Yes, of course. I mean, left or right doesn't even matter, guys. It's being liberal or illiberal, okay? Because I have so many positions that could be considered left-leaning, and I have so many positions that could be considered right-leaning, right? So many positions. It's not that important. And also, when it comes to conservative and progressive, that doesn't matter that much, because conservative, there are certain things that make sense that you shouldn't be changing it, so you need to conserve them. And there are certain things that make sense if we change it, so we need to be progressive towards those positions. So being conservative or progressive doesn't make sense either, because I have to evaluate, okay, this we don't need to progress out of this shit. It's fucking working. So conserve it. Do not progress out of this. Do not change it. Please keep that shit. So on those I'm conservative. And the other things like, oh, actually this one, we could do this better. So let's progress on this. So again, the progressive conservative, on certain things I'm progressive, on certain things I'm conservative. But it's liberal. The key is liberal versus illiberal. Conservative versus progressive doesn't make any sense. Left versus right doesn't make any sense. Liberal versus illiberal. And there are many people who are right-leaning who are liberal, and many people who are left-leaning who are liberal. And if you're left-leaning and not and liberal, that means you're not woke and you're not a commie. Okay, if you're leftist and not and liberal, right? And if you're right-leaning and a liberal, that means you're a right-leaning person who's not a fascist. You're a right-leaning people who's not bigoted, and you're a right-leaning people who is not anti-woman, right? So that's a right-leaning liberal person. Also, if you're liberal, you're going to be, if you're properly liberal, you're anti-mass migration, and you're also anti-Islam. If you're liberal, if you're properly liberal, that's not a far right position. That's a liberal position. And also, you're a nationalist. If you're liberal, you understand the importance of nation states. Okay, whether you're left-leaning or right-leaning, if you're liberal, you're a nationalist. Okay, so let's go to Muhammad. Muhammad saying Israel is the shittiest genocide. Israel is the shittiest genocide ever. Yeah, in 80 years of trying to genocide the population of Gaza, the population has increased about 8 to 10 times. Israelis are amateurs. Yes, Israelis are apparently amateurs at genocide, and they're also amateurs at controlling governments, and they're also amateurs at controlling the media. Yeah, they suck at it. They're only good at eliminating their enemies and technology and entrepreneurship and science. Okay, that's what they're good at only. But they're not very good at controlling the media and politics and genocide. They suck at genocide. They're good at entrepreneurship and technology and science, but when it comes to genocide, they're like, oh, somebody come teach us how this is done. It's doing the okay. Sketch therapy saying, send our best regards to your co-host. She's cool. Let her know when you see her. Yes, guys, Susanna, thank you so much for mentioning that. Guys, I know you see me more, but Susanna is doing more than I do behind the scene. And it's sad that people don't know how much she's doing for Atheist Republic behind the scenes. She does a lot, most of the boring work that I don't know. Like when it comes to accounting, legal work, paperwork, all this. Like I only do the fun stuff. She does the stuff that is fucking like annoying and boring for us to continue doing what we're doing. So please appreciate everything she does. And it's sad that most of the stuff that is the most difficult to do, you're doing it not in front of other people, so people appreciate you actually less. But thank you for saying that. The cat lady saying, Armin, please tell me more about Israel taking pro-Russian stance. I'm not aware. I mean, yeah, didn't in the UN vote just recently, Israel vote alongside the United States with in support of Russia when it comes to the position in Ukraine? Let me actually ask ChatGPT that. How about that? Actually, let's do it live. Yeah, what does that say? Fuck it, we'll do it live. Am I right about that, guys? Let's see if ChatGPT has this answer. Okay. Hey, didn't Israel just... Yeah, can you hear me? No, apparently not. Okay, let me actually try this again. While it's loading, I'll go to the next question. Hold on 1 second. Oh, here. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up?
All right, guys, you heard that, right? You heard that, right? So can you tell me if Israel just recently in the UN voted alongside the US against Ukraine and pro-Russia?
Yes, Israel recently voted with the United States against a UN resolution condemning Russia's invasion of Ukraine. This marks the first time since the war began that Israel has voted alongside Russia on this issue. The Times of Israel reports that Israel's vote was likely an overture to US President Donald Trump.
Okay, yeah, exactly what I said. Okay, so those are the details, cat lady. Yeah, this is not Russian influencing Israel. Oh, Gene is also saying yes. This is United States is influencing Israel. Yeah. Okay, and oh, guys, by the way, cat lady Z, this is good. Even Israelis are learning stuff about Israel in this chat. That's good. I'm proud of us. 9 clip Click is saying, Jewish people in the chat, why is Armin gaslighting us? We all know Israel and Israel firsters. What is that? Have stranglehold of American politics. What's wrong with Armin? Is he okay? Well, I'm sorry to report to you that you're a fucking moron, and I gave you all the information. If you still think that after everything I just read to you, then there's no hope for you. Unless this is a troll. Maybe it's a pose law. Oh wow, thank you. HK saying this is for the curl. Oh yeah. You guys like my hairstyle? Thank you. Yeah. Thank you guys. That is sweet. And thank you for the super chat. Oh, did I just no, this is the same guy. Jewish people in the I read that already. Let's go to this one, guys. I don't know. Sometimes the level of nonsense is so high that I might wrongfully consider somebody too far gone. I mean, I just gave you all the facts. I don't know what else to do, right? DE is saying, do you think Trump will make Gaza a holiday resort with a new Trump hotel and golf course? Okay, guys. I said on the Persian channel, nothing is impossible, but this is so close. I mean, okay, so Gaza will one day become a nice place to live, okay? But like, you know how I know that? Because this is going to happen to everywhere on the planet. But I don't know if we're talking about 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 1,000 years. But eventually human prosperity will get to a place that everywhere on the planet is going to be fine, including Gaza, right? So, including everywhere, basically. But the idea of this Gaza being owned by the United States is so far away from reality, not impossible, but so unlikely that I said on the Persian channel that if this happens, I will turn Shia and I will believe that Trump is the 12th Imam and he's the Mahdi because he did the impossible. Okay. So again, it's not impossible. Okay, it's not impossible, but it's so close to impossible that it should not be taken seriously unless it happens. And then when it happens, it will still be just, even if it happens, the justifiable position for us at this moment was for us not to believe that it would happen. Okay? Because sometimes very unlikely things happen. Does that make sense? Yeah. But I'm sure eventually one day, Gaza will become a nice place to live with hotels and nice beaches and parties and everything. It's just like when that's the question. When? Anyways, I'm very optimistic about the future of the world. Very, like, not short term, but long term, I'm very, very optimistic. Given the advancements in technology that I follow, I think things are going to become very, very, very good. We're basically, the fourth industrial revolution is about to happen, and this will happen sooner than I think a lot of people might think. And I'm just looking. I just hope that it happens while we're still alive. Like, we get to see it. Anyways, guys, this was the stream. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Make sure you leave a comment. The comments really help. I appreciate all the super chats. Guys, do not send us super chats if you're struggling financially. Do not become a member if you're struggling financially. For people who are not struggling financially, please consider becoming a member. Everyone else, which is probably a lot of people, just like the stream. Liking doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps grow this channel. And this channel is a good channel. I know we do good here. This is like, these are the stuff that we analyze here. The way we do it on this channel, they don't do it on other channels. I checked. I know I checked. This is a really good channel, and more people need to see the stuff that we say here. So please like the stream so that more people watch us. Okay. Anyways, love you guys. No, love only the people who like the stream, or people who eventually will come like the stream. Do not like the stream if you're driving. It's very important. Please do not drive and like. Okay. Do it later. Do it later. Okay. Anyways, bye. Why am I still here? Oh wait, because there's a super chat. That's why I'm still here. Seb is saying, nice Superman's Armin looks like Superman. Oh well, thank you. Well, I don't know. I think Superman looks like me. It's the other way around. But I appreciate that. I appreciate the compliment. All right, guys. Bye. Mwah.